everyone, and welcome to today's special session on making weekends memorable. Weekends always seem to go quickly, but they're actually longer than we think. There are 60 hours between that 6 p.m. Friday and that 6 a.m. Monday alarm clock. And even if we sleep for 24 of those hours, that leaves 36 waking ones. And that's plenty of time for fun, relaxation, and more importantly, recharging the batteries. In our competitive world, successful people know that great weekends are the secret to workday success. And somewhere they are absolutely mixed up, they're absolutely associated with the overall happiness that we can create in our lives. So if you want that weekends that can leave you refreshed and not exhausted or disappointed, so that you can hit Monday absolutely ready to go along with your family and absolutely taking on the world as it comes, then here is this session for you. And I welcome you all, and I'm truly delighted to have you all in this session. Now, the question is, how do I do that? How do I create the weekends that are memorable? How do I create those kind of weekends that keep me refreshed, that absolutely take me away from exhaustion and make me absolutely recharged? So here's how we do that. Today we are going to talk about 10 tips for making the most of your weekend days off. Let's begin with first and the most important rule. The first and most important thing about making the weekends memorable is, of course, make a plan. Failing to plan is planning to fail. As the saying goes, for our weekdays, the similar thing goes for our weekends as well. We're all busy. And when we hit the weekend, we think we want to do nothing. But it's impossible to truly do nothing, isn't it? What do you think? Isn't it? Yeah. So instead, what is going to happen is that we do unconsciously chosen some things, and then we'll hit Sunday wondering where the time went. And this is what keeps happening over the period of time with weekends. Now, there's always an anticipation for the weekend ahead. And this anticipation keeps us excited. This anticipation keeps us going forward and looking forward to a weekend. So it's absolutely important that this anticipation can bring out absolute delightful experiences. If we are not ready with the plan, the weekend would just go like that and we'll wait for another weekend. Yes? So to how many of you this has happened in the past? Yes, we're looking forward to the weekend, but what eventually happens over the weekend, we don't realize. And by the time we realize that, yes, we must do something, the weekend is already gone, isn't it? Now, to avoid having those kind of weekends, champions, it's important that we focus on making a plan and then going forward from there. So make a plan for how you want to spend the weekend. And even if all goes wrong in that moment, we will still derive pleasure from focusing on that, yes, this weekend was supposed to be this, and you have a plan ready for the next weekend in that case. Yes? So it's a win-win in both the situations. So the first and foremost thing is make a plan about the weekend as well, the way we plan our weekdays. All right, that was the first point. Now, the second point is, while we are making a plan, do not try to fix everything and fit everything into that, 2.5 days. Make an easy schedule. So don't fill every minute of your time over the weekend. Because just because you've got a plan doesn't mean that the weekend needs to look like your weekdays, scheduled in maybe 15 minutes increments or half an hour increments, right? So majorly 3 to 5, some key anchor events. So like, things that you look forward to. And those are major things. They can make for an excellent weekend. So let's list down. So go for a run, volunteer at a local support group, have dinner with friends. And that is, I think, enough for a total weekend to sum up, right? Not too many things. So that's the most important thing. Don't fill every minute of your planning chart with something to do, right? The next thing is do not focus on doing too many chores, right? Because the task that we make up, the to-do list, it actually expands to fill the available space, right? If we try to do those tasks on weekdays, we'll spend less time completing those tasks simply because we have less time. And that's how actually the planning and scheduling of those tasks really get into place. So there are certain tasks that we can absolutely put them not to be done on weekends, though they seem like they can be done on weekends. But something that can be done on a weekend, just check, can this be done on a weekday as well? Can I shell out 15 minutes of time, or can I do a multitasking, or while I'm doing certain things, say during the lunch hour at my office, can I focus on doing certain other things, that can help me do that? Or while I'm preparing dinner during night, or I'm preparing for the next morning during the weekdays, can I simply do certain things that can make me save my time and I not necessarily push it for the weekend? This will absolutely help us have more time in the weekend and much more relaxed mindset as well. So it's better to spend our weekends checking out maybe a new neighborhood cafe or trying out new things, rather than chained to the washing machine, isn't it? So put certain things off. So because there are certain things that can be done at any time, not just at the weekend. So my kind submission is, if we can arrange our time in the week sufficiently well, right? Maybe during the lunch hours or early mornings during our weekdays or late evenings. So doing a bit of a job every day or night of the weekend prevent us from having to do it entirely during our precious weekend, right? Also, successful people work a bit on weekends. They do. But they know that weekends are mostly about giving the brain a break. Therefore, champions give that much desired and much required break to your brain by relaxing and not making it run continuously. All right? So keep it relaxed. Therefore, do not make an easy schedule. Do not fill up every single minute. Now, that brings us to an important reminder. Having said that, do not oversleep. As tempted as we may be, oversleeping affects our biological rhythm, which is called the circadian rhythm. So we all need that beauty sleep, but please do not overdo it. Otherwise, too much of sleep also makes us feel exhausted and cranky on a Monday morning. So make a habit to always wake up at the same time every day, weekday or weekend. Make that a discipline, make that a practice. Primarily because it helps you take care of your circadian cycle, which is absolutely critical for all of us in order to remain holistically healthy. Circadian cycle is that cycle which helps our body to know about day and night, time, what time to take food, and the way the metabolism and other processes run in our physical body. And therefore, when we actually deviate from the circadian cycle, or we disrupt that circadian cycle by oversleeping or late sleeping and not following that regime, or no time to eat or no time to sleep, no fixed schedule on that, the circadian cycle gets disrupted and that affects our health as well. So follow that schedule of waking up at the same time every single day, weekday or weekend, doesn't matter. Now, having said that as well, it's important to include naps in your weekend routine as well. Maybe a 10 minutes or a 45. The question might come, why? Because naps help purging negative emotions, they increase alertness and enhance our abilities to learn. Therefore, it's important while we are focusing on making the best of our weekend, while we are focusing on not oversleeping, it's important to schedule downtime as well, right? So, in our distracted world, there's so many of distractions around us, right? Or we might end up just scrolling through the TV or mobile or WhatsApp, Insta, all of those things. And they just fill up the time. They do not really relax us. So if you want to schedule a time for a nap, of course, you have woken up at the same time as your weekday. So you truly deserve to have a nap time, and schedule it on a Saturday afternoon or a Sunday afternoon, and fix a time when it's going to happen. Put an little alarm right there. Take that nap. And if there are any logistical issues you need to solve, then commit to doing it, right? And that is how it is going to take care of everything that we want. Relaxation, as well as a bit of focusing on the task list as well, and all of those. Now, in the midst of all of this, do not forget the fifth point. Don't forget to exercise. A famous study of Texas women's found out that, after doing so much of relaxation, enjoying, socializing, eating, they were happiest when exercising and engaging in physical or spiritual or, mental activities. So why not aim for anchor events in these three categories, So exercise, socialize, and engage in spiritual activities. What this means is that make some time, some plans, keep some scope of having some exercises of your physical body, of your mental body, as well as some social connections as well. Include these three events either on the same weekend or spread it over different weekends. That's absolutely your choice. But do take care of having them and catering to them in a balanced way, right? Now, this brings us to our next point, which is stretch yourself. Now, stretch yourself occasionally. It asks for exploring, right? It's important that weekends are also focusing on exploring things around us. So make a bucket list of activities that you would like to try, maybe, not too far from your home, but in the premises of your home itself, all right? Or just maybe a 2-hour radius of your home, or a 3-hour radius of your home, or say, 20, 30, 40 kilometers of your house. So it could be anything, or anything that caters to your choice, the things that you like in your life, but something that makes you go out of your typical routine of maybe just working from home, or staying at home and taking care of things around you, or being at home and then going to office, coming back, following that routine. Something that breaks that routine and takes you to some other place. So choose anything that takes you away from this particular zone that you are in. Shake that zone, crack that zone, break it out, and then please come out of it, right? So it could be just a walk in the nearby park, not your park. Go to some other park or some other place where you can take a walk. So whatever it is, but remember that life can't just happen on vacations. So invite in some serendipity, choose some absolute crazy places to go just around you, not too far. We're not, going on a hiking or anything, but something which is close by, which is easily doable. You don't need a long weekend or a particular vacation to actually focus on that or actually cater to that, right? Sounds like a deal? Great. Now, for how many of us, this picture looks very resembling to what happens to us on a Saturday night, right? Oh my God. Tomorrow is Monday again, right? Now, this is called Sunday night blues. And many a times it happens that we start thinking, can we start the weekend over again? I wasn't ready. Oh, it's a Monday again before I could even think about how do I spend my weekend. Now, when we do this, it's important for us to understand why does the Sunday night blues happen, right? Even if we like our job, it's easy to feel weary by Sunday afternoon, as we think about the next morning's commute, we think about, our commitments for the next week. And what happens is that gives us a feeling of anxiety. Oh, the Monday is right here next to us. And what do I do? The week is starting again. The weekend is going off. Now, what happens is that first and foremost, we have to train and we have to tune our brain to understand that weekends are not the only areas, or weekends are not the only duration or events when we are relaxing and we are enjoying ourselves. The weekdays also give us some opportunities to do that, and we must love the weekdays for that. That's first thing. Second is, when one weekend is going, the other one is on the way, isn't it? It's just that between two weekends, we have certain commitments to fulfill and we must do them. Maybe it's for my job, it's for my family, it's for my other social commitments, but those are the things that help me keep the weekends running as well, right? Now, when we think about this, what is the solution of fighting the Sunday afternoon and night blues? is the fact that we have to work in two ways. First, we must give a bombastic and an absolute fantastic closure to the weekend. Instead of keeping the Sunday evening free to prepare for Monday, try to do it either on a Friday evening or Sunday, Saturday, morning, first half time, somewhere around that. Prepare for your Monday, not on Sunday evening, but prepare for your Monday on a Saturday afternoon or a Saturday morning, right? Which comes before that. Now, this will help you have the Sunday evening slot free. Now, when you have the Sunday evening slot free, don't get it occupied with you thinking, oh my God, tomorrow is Monday again. What do I do? No, let's not do that. Fill that Monday slot with something that you absolutely love doing. Meet some people or keep it occupied with something that gives a bombastic ending and closure to your weekend. This will help us in two ways. First, my Monday is sorted because I've already prepared for it. Once I've done that, my Saturday goes well, my Sunday absolutely goes well. And instead of wasting and getting that time drained out, in that emotion of the Sunday blues, I'm enjoying it. I'm utilizing it in the more beautiful way. Isn't it? Great. So this was about how do we fight the Sunday night blues? Two ways. All right. The next one is make the most of transition time. Now, what happens is then while we are enjoying our weekend, there are certain transition times, certain things, certain transition time, they cater to my task. Certain transition times cater to other people's tasks. Say, for instance, I have to go for marketing or I have to go for shopping certain things. So the transition time is right there. I can utilize that time in whatever way I can. Second is I have to travel or go to certain place, say for my children, maybe my kid is going to the swimming practice, or I have to take my spouse to a place, or I have to go and meet certain people, or I have to extend some support in some activity which is happening. Now, in all of these things, in all of these events, there is certain time which is called the transition time. It could be either your travel time or waiting time or anything in between. So while this is happening, this is completely entirely up to me. How do I use that transition time, right? So maybe read a novel instead of just checking our email. Or, instead of simply waiting, find ways in which you can be prepared for your next event of the weekend, right? Or do something that makes you feel happy, right? So all of that, when we take care of that, we are also enjoying not just the event itself, but the preparation time, the transition time, the waiting time of the entire weekend, which gives us absolute delight and absolute comfort in understanding that, yes, there is so much of time that I have. The weekends are not short. They are long enough for me to enjoy and relax and give my brain a break and to more socialize and, connect with my family, give more time to myself as well and do whatever I want to do in life. Right? So this was about making the most of your transition time, which usually gets wasted because we're waiting for somebody or we are going somewhere, or we're traveling. So make use of those times in making sure that you're doing certain things that actually help you move forward. Right? Sounds good? Great. Awesome. Now, this brings us to our next point to make sure that our weekends are memorable, and which is try the new. Try something which you have never done before, right? So, crazy ideas, absolute crazy ideas that you've never done before. And what can be more fun is to have absolute, support and cooperation and participation of your family and friends, whoever can join, right? Now, what can happen is, say, collect everybody together and dress crazy, have some makeup done and have some costumes done, click your pictures and make a photo album, right? Absolute crazy things. Or, absolute try new shots, poses to have more and more fun, right? So try the new thing. So try building up maybe some new hobbies along with your family. Say gardening if you have never done that. Maybe sketching, cooking, painting, origami, puzzles. It could be anything, knitting, sewing, it could be anything. Any number of things are there. But focus on doing things that challenge your brain. Now, It's not about making your brain getting tired, but making your brain feeling young, because challenges keep the brain young, right? So when you give those challenges to your brain, while it's relaxing, it's actually upgrading itself as well. So instead of just doing that, you do every weekend, and something that you absolutely love doing and you have been doing for many years. Instead of that, do something that you have probably thought of doing but never were able to do because of certain aspects, because of certain things in your life, but you don't mind doing them, right? So try those things out. Now, when you do that, at any age of our life, there are certain things that my mind finds challenging, right? Mind loves challenges. We don't love challenges, but mind loves challenges because the challenges keep the mind young. The challenges come and the mind starts, the brain starts upgrading itself, finding out new connections, new networks, right? So try certain new things in a way that it challenges your mind. And when you try these crazy new things, your brain gets absolutely refreshed. Give it that absolute kick of trying out something new that is challenging for it. And by the end of it, you not only learn certain new things, but your brain gets absolutely recharged because it has now got the portion of youth, right? So it's in good humor, but of course do try doing certain things that your brain would have never thought that you would be doing. So surprise it with new crazy things and make it absolutely lively and lovely with it again. Absolutely. Great. So this now brings us to our last section, the last section of finding ways to make weekends memorable, which is laugh, laugh, and laugh again. Laugh is the best medicine ever. We can never have enough of it. Isn't it? How many of you agree with me? Raise your hand or give me a thumbs up. Absolutely amazing. So humor improves mood in so many ways. It helps us cope with stress. It strengthens our immune system. And also, we are 40% less likely to suffer a heart attack or strokes, which is also said by Richard Wiseman in his brilliant book, 59 Seconds, Change Your Life in Under a Minute. Beautiful, beautiful read, which helps you understand how much you can make the most of it, most of 59 seconds, right? Amazing book and amazing ideas. One of which is laugh, laugh, and laugh. As much as you can, find ways to laugh, right? Create humor around you, enjoy humor around you, appreciate humor around you, culture and nurture humor around you. And not just within ourselves, but in our families, children, and the circle goes beyond it. And laughter, like they say, is something that absolutely enhances your face value, and it absolutely enhances your mind value. It absolutely enhances your life value. And therefore, find ways to laugh, laugh, and laugh again, laugh at silly things, and avoid and do not focus on things that make you get stressed. Especially on weekends, try to avoid those things, try to ignore those things that make you upset, but instead, just rub them off and laugh, laugh, and laugh again like there's no tomorrow. And these were the 10 ideas champions that I wanted to share with you. Easy to implement, practical ideas that can be absolutely done with ease and with the help of your family, friends, and other social networks. Now, let's do a quick summary of what these 10 ways of making weekends memorable are. First, make a plan. Do not start your weekend without a plan. Invest some time to make a plan as well. Second, make an easy schedule. Do not fill every second and every minute. Don't oversleep. While you're doing that, don't oversleep. Follow a schedule. Be a disciplined weekender where you are waking up at the same time as your weekdays. Having said that, do schedule downtime. Do schedule your relaxation periods and stick to them. Be very, very stringent about them. And don't forget to exercise in the midst of all of this. And when you do that, stretch yourself and take yourself out to some places and some areas, or do certain those things that take you out of that area or out of that place where you usually are on the weekday. So make a change of air. All right. Next is fight the Sunday night blues. Right? How do we do that? First and foremost, plan for your Monday on a Sunday afternoon or Friday evening so that your Sunday evening is free. And don't keep the Sunday evening free. Utilize it and make it occupied with certain things that you'll absolutely love doing with the people you absolutely love. The next was make the most of transition time. Make sure that your waiting time, transition time is well occupied with certain things that you love doing. Also, with the help of your family and friends, try the crazy new, challenge your brain and make it feel young again. And laugh, and laugh again. Do not miss on any opportunities to laugh along with your loved ones. And with this, champions, congratulations, you are all set to win because you have attended this webinar on making weekends memorable. And please do share about your experience on gurukul.hdfcbank@gmail.com so that they can also know how did you like this session and what are your key areas that you will be working on after this session. Also, champions, if you wish to go on more such learning joyrides with us, feel free to connect with us over LinkedIn. My name is Yasha from Star Consulting Global, and I'll be absolutely delighted to connect with you over LinkedIn. Thank you very much, and I wish that all your weekends are memorable, bombastic, and adventurous like never before. Thank you very much for being a part of today's session. Thank you, champions. Namaste.